The Sukup 100 at Iowa Speedway marks the halfway point of the 2013 Firestone Indy Lights campaign. 4 winners in 5 races has Indy 500 Rookie of the Year Carlos Munoz atop the point standings with his sights set on the Indy Lights Championship.
My main goal this year is to go for the championship. It's going to be really, really difficult to win each race, and I will have to push like more than 100% to beat them.
Munoz must keep a surging Sage Karam at bay. A dominant win in Milwaukee launched Karam to second in the championship, just 18 points back.
When I go to bed at night, the last thing I think about is winning the championship. It's going to be a dogfight.
The Firestone Indy Lights Sukup 100 from the Iowa Speedway is next. Welcome to the nation's heartland, Newton, Iowa, and a great little racetrack, the 7/8 mile bull ring that is the Iowa Speedway. What a great racetrack, a very fast racetrack. Firestone Indy Lights here this evening, getting set for the Iowa 100. 115 laps, 100 miles of racing. Should be an outstanding event. Yes, we've got a small field, but it is very, very big on talent. These cars turning laps around this 7/8 mile high bank track at nearly 160 miles an hour. Just removed from the legendary Milwaukee Mile, where we watched Sage Karam from Nazareth, PA, roll into victory lane for the first time in a Firestone Indy Lights car. He is on pit lane, ready to talk with our Jake Query.
At Milwaukee, he became the first driver with the victory in US 2000s, Pro Mazda, and now the Firestone Indy Lights. Sage Karam, you start 5th here at Iowa. What can you do? What is the strategy now to duplicate the Milwaukee feat?
Yeah, we've been struggling here since the beginning of the day, and we're just trying to dial the car in. We had a little problem in qualifying. Well, we actually just found the problem, so it's been there all day. But hopefully that fixing this will help us get to the front. It's going to be tough because Iowa's it's pretty key on where you start the race. So it's 115 laps, so it's a long way. You just got to stay calm and stay patient. And that's what showed in Milwaukee. We just stayed calm and patient and let the race come to us. So hopefully something similar can happen like that here.
He was involved in a sensational finish at our first oval of the year in Indianapolis, and that was with the guy who will start one spot below him. Here's more on Gabby Chavez.
I moved to the States in 2001? And then I was playing tennis competitively at my age. And I went to Colombia for my birthday. It was my 11th birthday. And my grandpa, he took me go-karting just in a rental karting place. And I just completely fell in love with the idea of, the speed and competition and racing. Nothing came close to the passion and adrenaline and love that you feel for when you're in a racing car. So that just kind of ended my whole tennis career. But it started something new, and it started something that, you look almost 10 years after, and I'm glad.
Skip Barber Regional and National Competition lead to Formula BMW, where Gabby won the America's title in 2009. Italian Formula 3 and GP3 were next, before returning to the U.S. and a runner-up finish in the 2012 Star Mazda Championship. Indy Lights is now Gabby's focus, but he does take time for other things.
I started getting into triathlon, started doing some of that. Did a half Ironman last year, which was, I want to say was the worst decision of my life. Another hobby is I love animals, and I have 2 dogs. I love them to death, and when I'm not racing or training or anything to do with my career, I'm online trying to figure out new dog tricks and all this. So that's one of my other passions.
Gabby Chavez comes in off of after a 4th place finish at the Milwaukee 100. He is currently 3rd in the championship, 36 points behind Carlos Munoz. Take a look at the top of your screen. You'll see how the field will line up for the Iowa 100. Carlos Munoz winning his 4th pole of the 2013 season. Want to bring in Davey Hamilton, our driver analyst, who, of course, joins us for all of these broadcasts. And, Davey, as we take a look at the field, as they'll come into their alignment here soon, do's and don'ts here at Iowa Speedway.
Well, the only don't that I have, Mike, is don't be too aggressive on the start of this race. We've seen guys early in practice, especially the guys at IndyCar Series, almost touching down in turn 1 and 2. The last thing these guys can afford to do is wreck their cars. The do is make sure you take care of your tires, because the last 20 laps of this race is the most important. It's a 115-lap race, Mike. Don't run yourself out of tires at the end. And then finally, very fit racetrack. You got to be physically fit to make it around here and not get tired. 7/8 mile high bank, very, very challenging for a driver.
Davey, as we mentioned earlier, I don't think anyone really understands doing 160 miles an hour around this racetrack for 115 laps. As you mentioned, your fitness level is going to have to really be right on the top peg.
At the top.
And on top of that, it is a warm, muggy summer evening, and so that's going to take it out of you as well.
Just that itself, the mug, the humidity and the heat, plus, like you say, Mike, the bumps around this racetrack, the load, no power steering in these cars at all, so it's challenging.
Well, you saw the furled flag being shown to the field. That means we'll go racing this time by. Davey, this is short track country.
This is
great.
Know,
folks in Iowa, they love short track racing, and they have built themselves a great short track super speedway, if you will, because this is a super speedway by all measures of speed.
By speed, it is that, Mike, but it's a Saturday night short track, and I love it. And it's a track that you run side by side, good grooves, and an exciting race to watch.
Yep. So as we take a look at the field, a great alignment, Davey. Boy, they are really packed in there tight as they come to the green flag.
Yeah, Munoz a little bit of a jump on the start. Well, no, it's not gonna let it happen. It was a good lineup, but a little too slow probably for Carlos. He needs to speed it up maybe a little bit on that pole position, but you need to go evenly. There's a line down there, turn 4, that they try to accelerate at that time, come across the start finish line side by side, guys.
So, Davey, the lap officially will be scored as they come across the line, but so essentially we are working now lap number 2, but the word from race control is, hey, Carlos, you got to give us a little more speed.
That's right. A little more speed. You see he's already picking up a little bit. They were packed up a little too tight, Mike. And then it's a drag race, and you got to try to time it with the rest of the cars, and you just can't do that. A little better pace this time going into
Carlos Munoz, he is the championship leader, and as we mentioned earlier, for the 4th time on pole this season. As this time, pretty good-looking start. Jack Hawksworth, Davey, on the outside of the front row. He desperately needs a good finish here. He's going to lead.
He had a good start right there. Carlos went from one extreme to the other on that start. And look at the guy from, I think,
that's good, Calvin.
Jack Calvin. What a good start for him. But Hawksworth's definitely going to come out with the lead.
Yeah, so Jack Hawksworth with a very good start. And it still looked like problems for Carlos Munoz, Davey, on that start. He just didn't look like he was up to speed.
Yeah, fell back to that 4th position. Just got 3rd back right now, so he's making up for it just a little bit right there. Karam, how about that start for Karam? From the 5th position all the way to 2nd.
Yep, so Sage Karam making up a couple of spots early on. And for Karam, Davey, this guy right now, it seems that he is really feeling it. He won the race, of course. His first Firestone Indy Lights win came at Milwaukee. And now here he is on a racetrack where he's won 3 times before. So, Davey, he loves this place. He's just never been here in a Firestone Indy Lights car.
He definitely has confidence here. A little bit surprised that he qualified where he did. I thought that he'd be challenging for that pole, but didn't get it. But, boy, on this start, he knew how to start. He did a good, clean start, got himself into position. And you got to remember, he's 2nd in the points championship. He was 19 points out when this race started, Mike. He's right now 14 points out of the lead. So he's doing what he needs to do to chip away at this championship.
Well, you saw the Momo car. That's Jorge Goncalves who made that little move early, but now backed up just a bit. And Zach Beach in the purple and green K-12 car is trying to work on him.
Yeah, and Zach fell back a little bit as well. He finds himself, right backwards in that 6th position right now. And there's good racing in the first 3 right here with Hawksworth leading Karam and Munoz.
Yep,
Carlos is starting to put a little pressure on Karam right now.
Yeah, so Munoz, who didn't have a good start, he was our pole sitter, but dropped back very quickly. He is working on Karam, and it looks like he's going to give him a little bit of trouble. Hawksworth breaks out to the early lead. Karam is 2nd. Munoz is 3rd at the Iowa 100. Back at Iowa Speedway, the Iowa 100. Good crowd on hand watching Jack Hawksworth lead early on here as we were working the 10th of 115 laps. Hawksworth took over the lead from Carlos Munoz, Davey, on the start. Not exactly sure what was going on with Munoz as we waved off the first start. And then Munoz seemed to have an issue on the second start, and he lost a couple of positions. Here is the start of the race, Davey. Take a look at what we're seeing.
Yeah, so he fell back, but watch the red car in fifth right now. That's Karam, and watch where he ends up. He gets on the outside of Veach, goes into turn one, makes a nice pass by him, all right by Carlos into that third position.
Now
then,
look at the four car. That is Goncalves, who had gone all the way to second, Davey, and then it seemed like the second that he got the momentum, he lost it all and dropped back.
Yeah, lost it all right there, but still a good start now. Right now, I think Karam needs to just to cool his jets a little bit. It's early in this race. It's his teammate leading the race. I think he has a better car, but just save those tires, wait till the end, and as I talked about, make sure this last 15 or 20 laps, you have a car that you challenge for the win. And right now, Carlos, I think, is in third position, maybe in the best position because he's not pushing his car too hard.
Yeah, now, keep in mind that Sage Karam qualified fifth, Davey, and he was very disappointed after qualifying. He really thought he was going to contend for the pole.
Yeah, he did, and we thought he was too. I mean, he's at that caliber right now to where he can challenge for any pole and any race win with this team and with his confidence right now. And like I said, I think right now he just needs to keep a nice pace. Don't worry about going for the lead right now. Just kind of make sure your car balance doesn't change in 115 laps. 100 miles around here is a long time. They're only on lap 14 or 15 of 115 laps.
Jack Hawksworth, we have talked a lot about, Davey, the fact that he was the early championship leader and now has dropped all the way back to fifth in the championship. He knew coming into Iowa Speedway that he was going to have some sort of statement race, particularly on an oval where he has not been very good.
Yeah, that's right. And he needed it big time. He's showing that he has it right now. I don't think he's the fastest car right now. He's probably going as hard as he can with this because his teammates pressuring him. But, this whole field has so much depth. For example, running eighth right now is Peter Dempsey. Peter Dempsey won the Freedom 100 in high fashion and had a great run going to Milwaukee until a few laps ago. He did spin out and lost control. But that's how competitive this field is. You never know which one of these guys is going to be in front or back any weekend.
He wound up sixth at Milwaukee, Davey, as you mentioned, after the problem. He did save the car, didn't really make any contact, but Peter Dempsey did have the spin. Really can't afford to do that here. The one nice thing about Iowa Speedway, the entire outside of this track, Davey, as far as the topside wall, it's completely covered with the safer barrier. But when you make contact here, it is generally hard contact because of the speed you're carrying.
That's right. I mean, like you said, Mike, earlier, 160 mile an hour average around here. That's getting along very fast. And by the way, yeah, you're right. This is completely safer barrier around the entire speedway. No concrete wall. They just built it with safer barrier. So kind of a new way of building a racetrack. Less expensive because you don't have to have the concrete. But let me assure you, they used to call it a softer wall. They're not soft. They're just safer barrier.
Yeah, the only place that you're going to find any concrete's on the inside wall here. But as Davey mentioned, the entire outside circumference of this racetrack is padded by the safer barrier. As the battle for the lead, Hawksworth and Karam out in front. But right now we're watching Munoz and Chavez as Munoz, the championship leader in car number 26, trying to hold off Gabby Chavez right now, who comes in, Davey, third in the championship. Another driver looking for big points here tonight.
Yeah, he sure is, and he's looking strong right now. That Schmidt-Peterson team right now, as you can see, running first, second, and fourth right now. Very strong run, and he seems to have a little bit better car than Carlos right now, but having a faster car and passing are two completely different things around the speedway.
Gabby Chavez, just 20 years old. He hails from Bogota, Colombia. Battle for fifth on Goncalves and Veach. And Veach, of course, had a good race at Milwaukee, Davey. It looked like he may even have an opportunity to win, but I think he used up those tires early on. He led a lot of laps at Milwaukee. In fact, he led the first 56 laps, only to give it up to his arch rival, Sage Karam, but I think he worked those tires over a little bit much in the first half of that race at Milwaukee.
Well, that's one thing I try to say, Mike. At first, no matter which Indy Lights race it is, whether it's on a street course, a road course, a short oval, or a big one, tire management is so key because there's no pit stops. If you have to come in for a pit stop, you're going to be in big trouble. So that is so key, and that's one great thing, a learning curve for these drivers to know how to make their cars last on a long stint. So when they move up to the Indy cars, they know how to go between pit stops.
Juan Pablo Garcia, there he is in car number 2, the Timor Racing entry, running just in front of Peter Dempsey. Those are the two cars right now that are running 7th and 8th here at Iowa. But the leaders Hawksworth and Karam run 1-2 as we're working the 25th lap of the 115 to make up the Iowa 100. Jack Hawksworth is the leader. Well, we've got a battle that is beginning to brew here between Munoz, Goncalves, and Veach. Veach going to try to work to the low side of Goncalves, and Veach in the K-12. Davey just can't get the pass made on the 4-car in turn number 4.
Well, what happened there is the 4-car of Gabby had to lift just a little bit. He tried to make a pass on Carlos, lost some momentum. That allowed Veach to come up and try to put a pass on him, but now they're getting straightened back out. But Veach has some pressure behind him as well, with Goncalves chasing him down.
So here is Veach. Veach came away with a podium finish at Milwaukee in that K-12 car, and as we mentioned before we went to break, he led 56 laps. So he was really kind of rejuvenated. He continues to work on the 4-car of Goncalves. And running just in front of them is the championship leader, Munoz. So you know that Veach is thinking to himself, I got to get past Goncalves. I got to make up some points on that 26 car. Everybody at this point, Davey, is thinking about the champion.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, the thing is, with a short field like this, Mike, points are so valuable because it's not like a guy could have a bad race and he goes way back and finishes 20th, for example. So the points are so tight and so crucial in this series.
Now, Davey, Goncalves has a bit of an advantage because he ran in this race last year. In fact, only one of a couple of drivers that was in the field last year, including Carlos Munoz, who has some experience in a lights car here. Does that give a significant advantage to a driver who's turned 100 laps at this track?
Well, I think it helps because you know how the race is going to unfold. You know what the pace is from the year before because the rules are the same, the tires are the same, but you don't have the same race cars. Handling a little different, things change, but it is always nice. You can't beat experience when it comes to these races.
Oh, keeping our eye on Peter Dempsey as Dempsey is going to move to the outside of Juan Pablo Garcia. And, Davey, it is a pass for position, so Dempsey going to pick up one spot there, and he's going to go from 8th to 7th.
Well, we just talked about Dempsey being in the tail end of this field. He's moved up one spot now, but look at where he's catching up. He's catching up to Veach, and so he has a good pace going right now. Maybe he has a car that's better in the long run than he does in the short runs right now, and looking like he's using that outside line, which you could definitely do around here.
Dempsey is 4th in the championship, as we mentioned earlier, 6th, and a disappointing 6th for him at Milwaukee, looking to bounce back here in a big way. But I think, Davey, the expectations for Peter Dempsey, I don't want to say it's pressure, but certainly now, after what everyone saw him do at Indianapolis, he's in the spotlight a little bit. People are pointing to him and expecting him to do those things now when he shows up at a racetrack, and there is a little bit of pressure there. As Veach looks to the inside of Goncalves, couldn't make it work.
Has to lift a little bit, and look what happens.
Yeah,
Dempsey catches right up to him, but Dempsey's car is not that great. He come off in turn 4 right there. You can see it wiggle around to where he's hanging on to that thing. Not as bad as Milwaukee, where we seen him last week, where he actually ended up spinning, but his car just not where he wants it to be. Now he catches up to these guys in the tow and in this traffic, but boy, trying to pass him is a little more difficult.
We have talked about it throughout the race preparations, Davey. If you lift here for just the shortest of seconds, you lose so much momentum, and it could cost you 2 or 3 positions.
Yeah, exactly. What happens, Mike, these cars, they don't have a lot of horsepower really, and because they have so much downforce, the speeds are so high. Could you imagine if you threw a bunch of horsepower in like a sprint car or something, they'd just be too darn fast. So it keeps you have to be smooth, you have to be gentle with the steering wheel, and you have to be very, very consistent, and time your passes is so key in these kind of races.
These are 3.5-liter V8 engines, Davey, and we're talking about producing somewhere in the neighborhood of 450, 460 horsepower. You were talking about sprint cars, which, of course, run not far from here. And we're talking about single-gear 800 horsepower race cars.
You're talking 900 now in the 410s. So, yeah, so you're talking a big difference and basically the same downforce. So, completely different things, cars, driving styles, front engine, rear engine. But the one thing with these cars, a good training ground for the IndyCar Series, and that's why every one of these guys are in this race, is they want to be in the IndyCar Series.
Sage Karam continues to work on Hawksworth. Hawksworth has led all 38 laps up to this point as Jack is in need of a win. There is no denying that. He has dropped to 5th in the championship after winning the season opener and finishing 2nd at Barber. He was the championship leader going into race number 3, but it has not been a good run for Jack Hawksworth of late. Davey had to take a hit to the confidence, but what a win could do for him here at Iowa. He is not looked at as, I wouldn't say he's looked at as a guy who is a oval specialist, but for Jack Hawksworth to win at a track like Iowa would be a big feather in his cap.
Oh, for sure, especially the way he started the season off. We're thinking, man, can anybody beat this guy? And then he's winning some terrible luck and made some mistakes, and he needs to get the confidence back. And if he does it on an oval like this right now, ooh, how about that?
Goncalves, yeah, giving a look there as Goncalves pulls alongside Munoz, and this is the battle for fourth place, and he's going to pick up the spot.
He does pick up that spot. What a great pass by, and see the thing step out right there. So that's not the perfect car either. And how about Veach passing him as well?
Boy, so Veach takes advantage, Davey, of just the slightest bobble there. Now he's contending for that spot that is held by Goncalves.
Yeah, and when he made that bobble, Carlos had to lift out the throttle, lost momentum, and now look, and he's fallen all the way back to that sixth position right now. That's our pole sitter, by the way, and points leader. But guess what? He's only 7 points ahead of Karam right now for the championship.
Yep, so Sage Karam might smell a little blood in the water.
Well, if he instantly goes to the lead and can win this race, and Carlos stays where he is, the championship points lead will switch.
Will change hands here at Iowa as we continue to watch Sage Karam, the Comfort Revolution car, running second to the Lucas Oil car, the 77 of Jack Hawksworth, who is out in front. Take a look at it again. Davey, what's happening right here?
So he had to take the low line. There's a bump right there coming off of turn two, and you can see the car got loose. He hit that bump, but he did a great job saving it. But that's not the preferred line, so because he was having to pinch the car down too much on the bottom of the racetrack.
Racing for the lead and racing for the championship here at Iowa. Jack Hawksworth is out in front of Sage Karam. Gabby Chavez is third. Goncalves is fourth, and Veach is fifth in Newton, Iowa. Back at Iowa Speedway, and Sage Karam has gone to the front. In turn number 2, he gets underneath Jack Hawksworth and takes over the lead. Davey, nice pass there.
Yeah, nice pass. And guess what we just talked about? What does that do? That puts him in the points lead, Mike, by 5 points.
One pass.
He came into this race 19 points behind Carlos. He's now 5 points ahead right now.
How about that? So Sage Karam, and Davey, I've got to assume at this point, he's probably got a spotter that is telling him exactly that.
Yeah, well, for sure. I mean, he needs to lay the whole thing out. Now that he's got the lead, he's passed pretty much everybody in the field, Mike. And so here's a replay of it right now. You can see how he takes that high line, gets the momentum coming off of turn 4, coming down the front straightaway. Mike gets the run, shoots underneath, hits that bottom, and he's really got the pass by right there.
That's textbook, isn't it?
Textbook pass right there, and gives plenty of room to his teammate. Now what he needs to do is he's the fastest car on the track. He's proved it. He started 5th. He finds himself in the lead. He's passed all the fast guys. Now, just kind of cruise around here. Just do what you have to do to stay in the lead. Here's the other trick, lap traffic. When he gets to lap traffic, just make sure he times it right.
So he has opened up about a 0.6 of a second lead over Jack Hawksworth. Hawksworth led Davey the first 48 laps before Karam got him, and Karam has not just taken over the lead, he's taken over the championship with that pass, looking to perhaps win for a second consecutive event. And Davey, interesting note about Sage Karam, as at Milwaukee with that win, he becomes the first driver to win at least one race at each stop along the Mazda Road to Indy ladder. He won in F2000s, he won in Pro Mazda, now he's won in Firestone Indy Lights. He's the first driver to do it on all 3 runs.
Pretty impressive. Yep. The kid's really deserving, and no surprise right here. But here's that's no surprise. But here's what the surprise is: he's getting ready to lap Carlos Munoz right now.
Well, he's got Garcia and Munoz, who are running right now 7th and 8th. Munoz trying to hold on to that 7th spot, and here comes Karam. So he's going to put the 2 car of Garcia a lap down, and now the championship leader runs in front of him, and
he likes that
view. The championship leader, Carlos Munoz, is about to go a lap down to the new championship leader, Sage Karam.
Sage likes this view, knowing that he's putting his biggest competitor a lap down right now. He hasn't got it done yet, and Carlos is going to hang on for all he's got, but he just doesn't have enough to hold him back.
Davey, just got to wonder what's going on with that number 26 Carlos Munoz Andretti Autosport car, because it just didn't look right from the start of the race.
Yeah, he just didn't have what it took, and it takes to lead these races. Now, here's a guy that has plenty of talent. He's the Rookie of the Year of the Indianapolis 500. He started second in that race, so but that car is just not handling like he wants it to. And right now, that Schmidt-Peterson team first, second, and third.
This is the battle for second place, by the way. The 77 red, white, and blue car going to the low side. That is Hawksworth. And he has Chavez running right in his slipstream, Davey. And right now, Chavez got to try to find his way, got to pick his way through this lap traffic that Hawksworth is already cleared.
And he made it through. So the next guy that he needs is for position, and that's Hawksworth, his teammate. Doing a great job at this point. I mean, it's switched all over the place right now. Hawksworth at one point moved himself from 5th up to 2nd. He now runs 4th in the points championship.
So Sage Karam takes the lead both for this race and the championship on lap 49 with a pass of Jack Hawksworth as Sage goes to the front. And there you see it right now, Davey, as they run a 7-point lead for Sage Karam. And the 7 car of Chavez finds himself 33 points back.
Yeah, just picking away at those points doing the best he can. That team really has it going here. Even Veach, with that other Andretti car, finds himself in 5th, where we thought, every race we go to, the Andretti cars and the Schmidt-Peterson cars are the ones for the win normally.
Or just past halfway here at Iowa Speedway. Great little racetrack in Newton, Iowa. Munoz, who came in leading this championship, now running dead last, Davey, is a lap down as Garcia got back around him.
Garcia got by him, and what that did, put him 2 more points down in the championship. So instead of being behind by 5 in second, he's now behind by 7.
61 of 115 laps being shown complete. Sage Karam running out in front of Jack Hawksworth. Hawksworth led 48 laps here this evening before Karam was able to get past him. And now Hawksworth is trying to hold on to second place, trying to hold off that 7 car of Gabby Chavez. They're in turn number 3.
Well, it seems like Karam's led a lot more laps and it just showed 14, doesn't it, Mike? I mean, he's led laps. He's leading the most important laps right now. But, his teammate and second place runner, Hawksworth, has led the most at this point.
David, what do you think about when you're Jack Hawksworth at this point? You need a good finish. You need a good finish. You need a points-paying night. You can't really afford to do anything silly at this point. Do you not even worry about Sage Karam and simply worry about holding off Chavez and holding on to second place? Or do you try to find a way? Do you try to find something that's going to get you back to the race? Right now, he's running better than a second and a half behind the race leader.
Yeah, well, one thing for sure, that he's disappointed with second right now. He was leading this race, hoping that he could win this race, because he really does need a strong comeback after the really bad few races he's had.
Yeah.
But also, you can't ever throw away second. That's a podium finish, and he wants to make sure he gets at least that and make sure that Gabby stays behind him now. Gabby's not putting a lot of pressure on him right now, but he is, we still have a long ways to go in this race, 50 laps to go.
There's your leader, Sage Karam, the young driver, just 18 years old. Here he is at Iowa Speedway, leading the race, leading the championship. 18 years old from Nazareth, PA. Some pretty good race car drivers come from Nazareth.
Pretty good race drivers come from Nazareth, but how about some really good ones right across the street from where Sage grew up, being the Andretti family?
Lifelong friends of the Andretti family. In fact, drove for the Andretti family for several years before he made the move. And so Sage Karam right now driving that 8 car and is a part of the Sam Schmidt Motorsports stable. So Sage Karam out in front, took over the lead on lap 49, has led 19 laps and is leading the championship. He's out in front of Jack Hawksworth here at Iowa Speedway. Welcome back. It's the Iowa 100 from Iowa Speedway on the NBC Sports Network, along with Jake Query and our driver analyst Davey Hamilton. I'm Mike King. 75 of 115 laps are complete. 40 remain. Davey, a huge surprise. Carlos Munoz, who led session 1 during practice. He led session 2 during practice. He won his 4th pole of the season. Carlos Munoz came in as the championship leader. Right now, he runs dead last, and Sage Karam, the winner at Milwaukee, took over the race lead 49 laps in, and with the pass of Jack Hawksworth to take over the lead on the race, he also earned himself the lead in the championship with that pass.
He sure did, and not only has he done that, he's put Carlos a lap down, and he's getting ready to put Peter Dempsey, who's running that 6th position, a lap down right now, Mike. So we're watching him go through turns 1 and 2.
Well, we know Carlos Munoz is a very talented race car driver. Davey, we just have to suppose that something went awry with the number 26 Andretti Autosport car early on. We saw the problem on the start. Whatever it has put Mr. Munoz in a difficult position as far as the championship.
Yeah, it sure has. I mean, when you have a 19-point lead, matter of fact, before Milwaukee, Mike, he had almost a 30-point lead, and then it went to a 19-point lead, and now being behind by 7 points, boy, that's a big hit, the championship points.
Munoz is this. He is battling a race car right now with major understeer as a problem. Michael Andretti told him, right now, let's think about points. We don't need to bring it in, make any adjustments. Just race conservatively. Yes, it has you at the back of the pack, but we'll see if attrition in front of you can allow you to move up. Carlos Munoz right now in the back of the field.
2 laps down.
2 laps down now as Sage Karam is going to follow Peter Dempsey around the 26 car.
Unbelievable.
And now Carlos Munoz is 2 laps down with 35 laps remaining. And he's in trouble. That's all there is to it. We know there's an issue with the car now, Davey. He is out of it in a big, big way. And this is not a race for position. This is the leader, Karam, looking to put Dempsey in that 5 car another lap down.
I think Dempsey's going to give him the spot. He's been really challenging. Can't get by Peter Dempsey just fast enough. But look, in second place, Hawksworth's made up a second on him over from first to second. But looks like Dempsey's trying to give him the room, but Karam just can't get around him.
Could it be a situation, Davey, where at this point Karam is happy to run behind this car?
Well, no, because he wants to get by him because he's lost, matter of fact, almost a second and a half now. The lead that he had, you can see it right here where Hawksworth, his teammate, in second, is catching up rapidly, and you don't want that. You want to have a nice cushion if something goes bad, and right now he has not much of a cushion at all.
So Munoz in trouble, and really, he's out of the conversation in this race, Davey. He's going to finish last.
Yeah.
So Carlos Munoz came in with the championship lead. Will now hope for a better day. So the conversation right now is about Sage Karam and Jack Hawksworth. Hawksworth, it's probably one of the best things that could happen for Hawksworth to see Munoz have a bad day, as Hawksworth, Davey, has already picked up 1 spot. He's now 41 points back in the championship.
Yeah, exactly right. Only 3/10 behind the leader. And how about the other? Gabby in third place is only 6/10 behind the leader. So this is a 3-car battle of teammates for the win of this race with 30 laps to go, Mike.
Yeah, one thing is for certain, Sage Karam's lead all but evaporated after he looked like was in a position to put Peter Dempsey a lap down. It didn't happen. Dempsey is, by the way, shown on the lead lap, so Dempsey is not being shown a lap down. Garcia is the next car to be shown a lap down, but the lead has disappeared. Hawksworth is now pulled within 5-car lengths.
And how about this with Sage Karam? You know, we talked about tires. I keep saying early on, he caught up to Dempsey, tried to pass him a few times. Now Dempsey's completely pulled away, and that, like I say, it's to put him a lap down, but Sage Karam is losing time in this race. He is definitely slowing down.
87, working lap 88 of the 115 that make up the 100-mile race here at Iowa. Great facility, 7/8 of a mile. Opened 7 years ago. This is the 7th Firestone Indy Lights event to be contested here. Dempsey has now gotten past Veach, Davey, so Dempsey having a run that's getting stronger here in the late stages.
Well, I'll tell you what, since he won that race at the Freedom 100 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, he's been having a challenge to drive this race car. But Zach Veach in the other Andretti car, he's struggling as well. He's the next car to go a lap down. We'll see if Sage can get around the outside of him right now. He's up there.
Now, let's keep in mind, these 2 guys are arch rivals, and Sage Karam is enjoying nothing more than putting Zach Veach a lap down.
Ooh, and look at he slides in front of Hawksworth, so that's going to help out Karam a little bit, because Hawksworth definitely had to lift when and Sage Veach did lift both guys by. Oh, but look at there, look at Gabby. He ended up getting by Hawksworth.
So Gabby Chavez is going to work to the inside, and he's going to pick up the position. So Gabby Chavez, Davey, he moves to second.
Wow, that was because of a lap car right there. No other reason. I mean, Veach, was in the middle of the racetrack. Nothing he could do either. He's going as fast as he can and hanging on. But man, that was definitely right here. There, Hawksworth had to get so high. Oh, but lost it. Look at the momentum. Just lost that momentum. And here comes Gabby on the bottom, and going to take that inside line going down into turn 1 and making the pass.
Yeah, so just like that, the 7 car of Gabby Chavez finds himself now just 28 points out in the championship. This race a long way from being over, Davey.
It is a long way. I tell you
23 laps remain, but it is not over as the 7 of Gabby Chavez. I think Gabby's thinking, here's my chance right here.
Right, well, the 4-car pulls down right now to let the leaders go by, but I'll tell you what, this is definitely a good opportunity for Gabby to make a pass on Karam.
Jorge Goncalves had been good early on, but he has dropped back and has now gone a lap down. This race between Karam, Chavez, and Hawksworth, the 3 drivers out in front. Karam and Chavez separated by just about 0.3 of a second. Momentum, everything right here. This is the race for the lead. Gabby Chavez right in the slipstream of your leader, Karam, in turn number 3.
Look at the momentum he has going through turns 3 and 4. Oh, gets a little high, a little too close to that wall. Had to lift, and here comes Hawksworth with a momentum run. Going to block his own teammate as they get down into turn 1.
And, Davey, there's that loss of momentum we talked about. He was right on Karam's rear wing, and just like that, he's 5 car lengths back.
Yeah, timing's everything on that situation, and you definitely have to get it proper.
So we've got a good one going with 20 laps remaining. Sage Karam is out in front, but it's a long way from being over as Gabby Chavez wants a piece of the lead here at Iowa. It's the Iowa 100 Firestone Indy Lights action on the NBC Sports Network with Jake Query and Davey Hamilton. I'm Mike King. We've seen a good one out in front. Hawksworth has led tonight, but is now shown in third. Karam has led now 50 laps. But Sage Karam has been challenged by Gabby Chavez. And, Davey, we have both been impressed with the fact that Peter Dempsey, who almost went a lap down, has been picking up about a half a second a lap. But he's running out of laps. Only 16 laps remain now.
Yeah, he's the car in front of Karam right now, getting ready to go a lap down, and was so close to going a lap down. But now he's actually pulling away from the leaders right now. So that tells you he has a good car on long runs. And boy, what a race right now for second between Gabby and Hawksworth.
Davey, would the spotters not tell the Schmidt-Peterson teammates, Chavez and Hawksworth, that they could run faster nose to tail to catch Karam at this point in the race? I mean, there are 15 laps remaining. They've got to do something to catch him.
Well, here's the thing. They're all teammates, so it's going to be hard for those spotters up there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they're
that's
all
right.
teammates. Yeah,
I keep thinking about Karam's association with Andretti, but it ended last year.
That's right. It's all Schmidt-Peterson.
Yeah, so these are all Schmidt-Peterson cars running up front.
First, second, third. So, yeah, it's really hard. You can't really favor one from the other.
Yeah,
it's like,
so the spotters would be arguing, wait a second, you're not going to
right. They want to
team up and beat my guy.
That's right. They want to win up on that roof, just like Sam does as an owner and these guys do as drivers. They're all for their own. Right now, Sam's in the best seat because he's, I'm sure that he would like to see it end the way it is right now for the reason of the points championship.
Well, Gabby Chavez right now runs in second place. He is third in the championship, 30 points back. Jack Hawksworth has fluctuated between 5th and 4th in the championship. Right now, he has dropped back to 5th, 50 points back, and he is trying to work on Chavez. If he can pick up the position, maybe he picks up another spot in the championship.
He will. I mean, these positions are so important, and when you're leading that you get bonus points when you're leading this race or when you win this race. So that's what shot him up to second or third in the points.
As we mentioned earlier, Sage Karam Davey has won here 3 times in other series. Looking for his first win here in Firestone Indy Lights and his second in a row, and what a confidence boost it would be for the 18-year-old from Nazareth, Pennsylvania.
You're doing a great job, Mike. There's 11 laps to go right now, and he's doing what he has to do, and as long as lap traffic and it doesn't interfere, he should be able to hold him back without a mistake, but that's as long as Dempsey keeps ahead of them and they don't catch him again and trying to put him a lap down.
He started 5th, Davey. You were very impressed with the way he started this race and using that outside line to pick up positions.
Oh, did a great job. I mean, the kid, he drives like a veteran, really. I mean, he doesn't look like a young kid. What a masterful pass he did on the start, and his car's not perfect right now. He definitely doesn't have the fastest car on the racetrack. Could have been a little bit where we talked earlier. He put a little bit too much pressure when he was in second on Hawksworth, I think, and now maybe he's paying for it a little bit.
Well, he pulled away from Hawksworth initially right after he made the pass, and then as he tried to put Peter Dempsey a lap down, it seemed like all the momentum went away, and Peter Dempsey drove away, stayed on the lead lap, and Chavez and Hawksworth were able to gain all sorts of momentum, and Karam has not been able to shake him.
Yeah, and the one thing, too, is we see that Gabby can catch up right up to him, right? But pass him is a different story. See right there, he gets in that dirty area. He's going to have to lift. That may be enough lift where Hawksworth gets a run on Gabby. So it's all about timing. And look at there, Hawksworth doesn't get up there far enough, but they both lost ground to the leader of Karam. So Karam likes what he sees in his mirror right now.
At the line, 6 laps will remain for Sage Karam. That's all that separates him from a second consecutive trip to victory lane in Firestone Indy Lights. If he's dared look in his mirrors, Davey, he's seen a great battle for second place as Chavez and Hawksworth continue to work on each other. Hawksworth running third. And it looks like he's trying to do everything he can to get past Chavez. He just can't pull right up on him and make the pass.
Well, and that's somewhat what Chavez is trying to do to the leader of Sage Karam, and just cannot get it done. You get up in that dirty air, and it just loses a little bit. But how about this right now? The worst thing that Sage wanted is to catch back up to Dempsey to try to lap it again, because he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it the first time he caught him, and now he needs to desperately get by him so he doesn't lose that lead.
We're working lap 112, so time is running out for Chavez and Hawksworth.
Oh, he's going to move down. Oh, that's
Munoz.
That's Munoz again, yeah.
So Munoz, who finds himself now 3 laps down, he'll stay on that low line and stay out of the way, Davey, of the 3 leaders as they come to the line. 112 laps complete. Big time understeer is what Munoz, Davey, has been fighting, and that's difficult on this racetrack.
Yeah, when you can't turn that race car, understeer means just that. You can't turn the car. You turn it left, and it doesn't want to go around the corner, and it just slides up towards the wall, and there's not much you can do about it. 113
laps are in the book. 2 laps remain here at Newton, Iowa Speedway. And Davey, we have seen a good one. These 3 drivers have been really going at it hammer and tongs here for the last 45 laps. Karam, Chavez, and Hawksworth, they'll come to the line. They'll see the white flag.
Man, I tell you what, these races, like you said earlier in the show, Mike, very, very short on cars, but very, very big on talent and competition. These first 3 are amazing right here for the win.
Final lap. Battle for second. Here comes Hawksworth. He's going to try to get underneath Chavez. They nearly touch. Sage Karam for the second straight race. We'll see the checkered flag. He's the winner. Chavez is second. Hawksworth is third. Sage Karam has gone on a 2-race win streak in Firestone Indy Lights. And Davey, he is now the new championship leader. Not bad for an 18-year-old. Sage Karam coming into his own here very early on in Firestone Indy Lights action.
You know, what an impressive move by this kid. And something else you got to remember, he made the hardest decision that he's ever had to make at an early age. That is going from that Andretti Autosport team that he is friends with, that he grew up with, that now switched to Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports. It was a big thing for him.
So there's your winner, Sage Karam. And like he did at Milwaukee, he'll pull out the American flag and display it to the crowd. Sage Karam has run the win streak to 2 with the win at Iowa. A beautiful night for racing at Iowa Speedway, and what a good one we saw as Sage Karam is the winner of the Iowa 100 as he holds off Gabby Chavez and Jack Hawksworth. Peter Dempsey winds up with a good 4th-place finish considering where he was earlier in the day as far as practice and qualifying. Goncalves, Garcia, Beach, and Munoz, who came in as the championship leader, winds up 3 laps down. More about that later. Sage Karam is one happy race car driver, and he is with our Jake Clear.
For the second time in 5 years, Sam Schmidt has swept the podium at the Iowa Speedway and the Firestone Indy Lights. And for the 4th straight year, now in the 3rd different series, Sage Karam has won here at Iowa. And this one, young man, was one where, I'll tell you what, outside line, wherever you had to go to get right back here to victory lane. Congratulations. Take me through the run.
Well, I learned that one from my boy TK. You know, he's the king of starts and restarts, and I just went right around the outside, and oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say really, because we've been having such a bad day, and then to bounce back like that and get the win for the 4th year in a row. Oh, I'm speechless right now. I can't thank anybody enough that put this together. Comfort Revolution, Sam Schmidt, EPN, Just Be Natural, Body Fuel Elite. I mean, everybody. It's just a great race, and to get 2 in a row, and I think now it's the championship lead. That's a great feeling going into Pocono, my home place.
It's obviously, as we head back to your home state of Pennsylvania now, familiar territory for Sage Karam. Victory circle here at Iowa, and he gives thanks to his hero, Tony Kanaan.
So headed to Pocono for the next race on the Firestone Indy Lights schedule. It will be Sage Karam, the championship leader, 9 points better than Carlos Munoz. And Davey, if you're Carlos Munoz and you have the day that you had, how quick you have to forget about this and move on?
Well, you have to forget about it. He was 19 points in the lead going into this race, comes out 9 points behind. So got to put it beside you and move on to Pocono.
Gabby Chavez, on the other hand, is now third in the championship, 30 back. He's got some momentum at his back. That 5-car Peter Dempsey, he is fourth in the championship. And Jack Hawksworth, Davey, did make up a lot of ground, but he did have a very positive race.
What he made up was some confidence that he had to start this year, knowing that he could win races, knowing that he could win championships. He's had a bad stretch.
Sage Karam led 67 laps. Jack Hawksworth led 48. A great event here. Congratulations to Sage Karam. As we mentioned, he runs the win streak to 2, and he is the new championship leader as we head to Pocono for the next stop on the 2013 Firestone Indy Lights.